sweetheart, a lot of Nigerian landlords will take that right away from you, and nothing will happen, really. Nothing except nothing. You know, it's not like the diaspora where, oh, every Hey my loves, hi, good afternoon, how are you all doing? Y'all, my mood is just on high key flight today. I'm not sure why, but I'm liking it, legit. I really want to keep that energy, really. And I mean, I don't get to say this, you can ask my subscribers, but today is one of those days that I just want to say, if you're seeing me for the first time, thank you for linking up. Please join us. Come on, give me a hug first. Come on. I love you too, so please stay, all right? Good stuff. If you're a returning subscriber, literally you're the real MVP. I can't emphasize that enough, because you should already know it like you know your name, really. Thank you for always coming back, all right? I appreciate you for real. Thank you. Now let me cut that chase and dive into the actual point, which is what you clearly want to hear about, and let's get into it. So these are two major things you should consider if you want to rent an apartment in Nigeria. Number one thing you should consider is that in Nigeria, our rents are paid annually, okay? In Cameroon, I grew up in Cameroon, and I realized that in Cameroon, the rents are paid monthly, you know. It's optional if you want to pay for a couple of months ahead, but it's not compulsory. Now, when I speak to friends in the diaspora, you know, friends, relatives, you know, loved ones, they always make you understand, oh, they're working on their monthly rents, they want to pay their monthly rents and all that good stuff. So I figured that they pay their own rent monthly. In Cameroon, people pay their rent monthly, but in Nigeria, your rents are paid annually. You know, initially you had to pay for 2 years in advance before renting any apartment in Nigeria, but over time they had to tone it down because that was so hard on the aspiring tenants. You know, it was too hard a target to meet up to, because a lot of people would have like 1 year rent, a lot of people would have like 6 months rent, a lot of people would not even have much, but you know, they do want to move into their own places. So looking at raising, you know, a 2 years rent was so hard for a lot of people. So over time they toned it down to, you know, people having to pay for 1 year in advance before moving into an apartment. And to be honest, I think it is very fair, because that became a bit flexible, and a couple of people were able to meet up to that standard of having to pay for a 1 year rent in advance. So it helps that you know that you have to pay for a 1 year rent before moving into an apartment. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 places where you can pay like 6 months, you know, but it is very rare. Literally, I've never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of like shops, you know, where people say, oh, you have to pay for 6 months. I've passively heard someone say they want to pay for a 6 months rent about a shop, but no, I think I heard that in a movie. I've not even heard that in real life. No, it has to be in a movie, because I know that as far as a lot of places in Nigeria is concerned, you must pay for a 1 year rent. Be it for a shop or a house, you must pay for a 1 year rent first. Now, when you're in the apartment and perhaps you're trying to move into another apartment or another shop, you might ask the landlord to give you 1 or 2 months to find a new place. So then when you find a new place, you do have to balance the landlord the 1 or 2 months you're owing them, but you can't come to rent the apartment or the shop for the first time and you want to pay for 6 months. It's not even possible. Like, I've never heard of it, you know. So if you're looking to rent a house in Nigeria, have your 1 year rent in advance first. It's a standard. It is not negotiable. That is how it goes down here. You know, I wish they would make it like, you know, 6 months, just to make it a bit more flexible on people, but it is always that 1 year in advance or nothing less. So that's the number one thing you should know. The rents here are annual, so you pay it annually rather. Now, the number 2 things you should know is that a lot of Nigerian landlords, not all of them, but 3/4 of them, do not do the needful. Very few Nigerian landlords do the needful. So do not think that just because you are paying a huge amount of money for a whole year's rent, it just means that automatically all the plumbing work is perfect, the colors of the paints on the wall is perfect for you, or nah, it doesn't work like that in a lot of places in Nigeria. But in all these renowned places, like the island, Banana Island, VGC, all these grand places in Lagos, in those kind of places, yes, you might see everything perfect. But an average place in Nigeria doesn't, the landlord doesn't do all the needful for the tenants. It just doesn't work like that, because a lot of them just feel that, yeah, it's your house, you should make it what you want it to be. Now, a lot of people do go ahead to actually like make the apartment beautiful, and some landlords are fair enough to deduct whatever you've spent or the expenses you've made from your rent, but very few of those landlords are caring enough to do that. Some of them say that it's your business. Some of them just make you feel, well, I didn't ask you to do it. Some of them just make you feel that, well, regardless, you're going to pay me a round figure when your rent is due. I don't want you thinking that you have to give me part rent because you've used part of the money to renovate the house and everything. No, some of the landlords are fair enough to paint one or two things about the walls, do one or two things before you rent the apartment, but it's very few. It's only 3% out of 10% who do things like that. So it's better to have it at the back of your mind that if you want to rent an apartment in Nigeria, number one, you have to have your 1 year rent in advance. Number two, just assume that all the interior work is up to you, because if you just believe that it's my right as a tenant for the landlord to do all the needful before I move into his house, sweetheart, a lot of Nigerian landlords will take that right away from you, and nothing will happen, really. Nothing except nothing. It's not like the diaspora where, everything, it's all about the law, Here, it's not really like that. So if you're going to rent an apartment in Nigeria, put your 1 year rent in advance down, and just mentally take it that you're going to work on everything interior wise, so that if the landlord decides to deduct the expenses you've made in his house from your rent, if he chooses to deduct the expenses you've made from your rent, the expenses you've made to beautify his house, to satisfy you as a tenant to live therein, if he decides to minus those expenses from your rent, we're all well and good. But if he refuses to deduct it, you wouldn't be heartbroken, because you already had it somewhere at the back of your mind that, you know what, I'm just going to make this house to be my taste. That's what I had to do. I had to do a lot of things in this house, but I don't want to go into that video right now, because that is my topic for my next video, which will be mistakes I made when renting this apartment. 2 major mistakes I made when renting this apartment. Now I'm fine, it's perfect, this is where I'd rather be, but if I knew better, I wouldn't have made those mistakes. So in this video, I just want to focus on the 2 things you should know before renting a house in Nigeria. Number 1 is that have your 1 year rent in advance. Number 2 is that a lot of the landlords don't do the basics. Very few of them do the basics. So it's up to you to do the remaining things you have to do, because if you drag them to come do it and they don't want to do it, and you choose not to do it because it's his house, I'm not supposed to be doing his house, you are going to live in discomfort, and I don't think you should live in discomfort to prove a point. So most times I always advise people to just go ahead and do what you have to do. The plumbing work, if nothing is perfect with the plumbing work, go ahead and do it. If the sink in the kitchen, I literally had to buy a new sink, if those things are not working, just go ahead and get a new one. Make the place to be a place that you would enjoy. So just know, so I don't keep repeating myself, just know that the number 1 thing you should know before renting a house in Nigeria is that you must have your 1 year rent in advance. The number 2 things you should know is that not all landlords do the basics. The basics, really. Not all of them do it. So just have it at the back of your mind that you are going to have to do the basics. Now, should you do it and they are kind enough to, should you do it and it happens that, you're operating with a landlord that is quite considerate and he was fair enough to deduct it from your rent, all well and good. But if you happen to have fallen in the hands of a landlord that is nonchalant and says that I don't care what you've spent in my house, I didn't ask you to do it, you should have allowed it the way you met it, should you do it? And he says that on that note he's not going to minus it from your rent, well, you wouldn't be bitter because you already made up your mind that okay, whatever be the outcome, you are going to work on it interiorly for your own satisfaction, regardless of whether or not they will minus it from your rent. If they minus it from your rent, all well and good. If they don't, all well and good. You already made up your mind. You already made peace with the fact that whether or not they minus it, you will be fine. So yeah, that's just the two major things I think you should know before renting an apartment in Nigeria. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching. I love you and take care of yourself. Mwah. Okay guys, so Daniel has been behind my camera acting super annoying. Daniel, come and confirm the fact that you've been really annoying.
Ew.
So guys, Daniel has been making my life so hard as far as recording the video is concerned. Since morning, all I've been hearing is hello guys, hello guys, hello guys. Show your character now. Don't.
Hi guys.
Yeah, no, don't try to act cool, Daniel. Act the way you've been acting since morning.
I said, hello guys. It's time to off the light. Then I off the light. It's time to turn off the light. Then I turn off the lights. Okay guys, see you guys later.
Boy, I hate you, Daniel. Oh my god, I can't stand this boy. What am I gonna brother for sale? You guys, please come and just take Daniel away, please.
It's not close. Okay,
hi guys, good afternoon. How you all doing? I just want to tell you Daniel is so stupid because I'm trying to make a video and this boy is out here being annoying.
Let me on the light.
Like, why is he teasing me right now? Did I ask Daniel to on the light? This is what content creators go through when they want to record a video. Why is this boy being dramatic this afternoon?
Is that on light? On the lights. Okay, guys.
I hate this boy.
Why?
What are you doing with the lights?
Is that off or I should leave this on?
I said turn off the lights. So I said.
Okay.
Oh.
Alright, go on. Okay guys, see you guys later.
Okay, you're moving up and down like a ghost. I'll post this video, Daniel. I'm gonna post it just to get at you. They need to see your true colors behind the camera. When you come into videos, you act so cool, like you're actually a cool person.